Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Serial Gaming here, and today we're going to talk about another unit that surprise that I want to get. Irvine Kinneas from one of my favorite Final Fantasy VIII games. So I like his character, I like his attack, I like his new animation, and I also like how the way his kit works. So anyway, before we dive into Irvine, we're going to first talk about Sazh, which will be getting his crystal level 90. Surprisingly again, Sazh doesn't get a rework on his skill 1 and skill 2. Considering how bad he was during his LD release, most people only want him for his call. You definitely still just want him for his call. Anyway, his EX now does a 5 AoE split HP attack, which is pretty nice. It's 2 additional HP attack from his original kit. It also improved his overhead buff with now providing a 20% HP damage up. I think the best part about his EX upgrade is actually the bravery potency. If you recall using Sazh previously, he has a lot of bravery dumps like I mentioned before, HP dumps. He has 3 HP dumps and 7 bravery attacks in between the HP dumps. Right now he only has 4, but with more HP attack. But the worst thing about his previous rendition is that his bravery potency is so weird. He actually changes in between the HP attack. It's really complicated and really sucks so hard for his bravery potency. I'm not sure whether the newest upgrade will have a lot of differences, but I hope that he actually capped between his HP attack, even though the bravery attack between the HP attack is now reduced. Anyway, his additional ability now extended to 7 turns and provide a 20% party attack up, party overflow up, as well as a 20% self-brave damage limit up. So a little bit weird on the self part, since like I mentioned before, Sazh hardly capped his own bravery attack. Don't get me wrong though, his buff is still very powerful. Although they are all non-frame buff, so you do want to be careful not to be pushed off by unnecessary useless buff. Anyway, he does have a very unique mechanism. If you run him in the party, his LD provides a unique party bravery steal mechanism. This works similarly with Kate's safe LD effect, but not in a way where it's not affected by brave gain up and you don't see the numbers jumping around. Not that you can actually see them anyway, but it's a very unique buff like I mentioned, and it does help with some units which I will mention later. He also has a rather rare buff extension niche where you can actually use it to extend certain powerful buff like Gladiolus. LD is one of the popular one before. Not that you actually use Gladiolus right now, but it does for current unit, probably something like Elise, although you don't really need it as well. But yes, you might find ways to actually use it, but I can't think of one right now. But yes, that unique buff extension does come to play in certain situations that is really good. He also is a very fast unit, though keep in mind he has high turn rate and he has a free turn skill as well on his skill 2. So technically speaking, he's like Ursula, where he's a support that actually turn hogs a little bit. So you can actually benefit him with units like Kane or like Core or even like Laguna's BT effect. Though I have to mention though, aside from the bravery steal itself, such unique mechanism can always be applied in his call if you max him up. So that's gonna make him work better as a call rather than in the party itself. But if you just want to make up some challenge for yourself, or you just want to use him as a repayment for what he did for the Chaos era, you can run him with units that actually relies on bravery attack, for example Theodore, or actually units that don't have any brave gain or requires brave retention to maximize their HP attack. For example Squall, Laguna, or Cloud, Titus, Yuna with their BT finisher. Other than that, I just can't really find a reason to actually run Sazh in the party. His main disadvantage is him having that low damage output, and the main catch of his buff can be obtained similarly through his call. So like I mentioned, it's not really that worth it to be put into the party rather than being used as a call itself. Alright, moving on to Irvine, which is my new next must-have character. Irvine get a lot of things because he hasn't been featured for quite a while. He get his new LD, he also get a rework as well as his crystal level 90. He now has 2 additional usage to his skill 1, which provides a 3 single target HP attack. His skill 2 now has 3 additional usage and provide a 3 AoE split HP attack. His buff is actually tied to his skill 1, and his debuff, which is the ranged peril, is actually tied to his skill 2. so you can just use these skills to refresh the buff or debuff if you want to. He does get his crystal level 90 as well. His EX now does a 4 single target HP attack and a 50% splash. And for those who never used Irvine before, his EX actually heals the entire party, so I guess pretty nice. It also improved his snipe buff, which is his EX buff. It now provides a 20% party attack up, 20% party overflow, as well as a 20% self HP damage up. It's a bit surprising for me because he doesn't come off as a party aura bot kind of guy, so giving this aura bot support for him is actually quite unique, I guess. Anyway, his additional ability now extended up to 6 turns is a single target HP attack, and for every debuff that Irvine applied while this additional ability is active, it now extends 4 more enemy turns for that debuff duration. So this is actually really good considering how potent his LD debuff is, which I will be mentioning. His LD now, it's a 3 turn skill, and provide him his LD buff, which provide him a 20% self attack and HP damage up, as well as a 50% brave damage up. Though you don't really rely him a lot on damage, but this is a pretty nice upgrade to his kit, I guess. But the best part about his LD is actually it grants 2 users of dark ammo, which is converted from bravery attack. From his bravery attack, it now does a 4 AoE split HP attack and inflict range in peril, 30% speed down, and a dark shot debuff. This dark shot debuff actually provides a 20% defense down and HP damage resist down, poisoning the enemy as well based on 100% of their own initial bravery, as well as a very nice 50% hit rate down, providing more survivability to your party. His LD also grants him 1 use of pulse ammo, which is converted from his HP attack. It does a 4 single target HP attack with a 50% splash on every HP attack. So I could almost say that the pulse ammo attack is his strongest attack. So Irvine overall is he has a very awesome debuff, and I'm speaking as impartial as I could. I like Irvine a lot, and I like his kit. The 50% hit rate down is what I like best about his LD, because it actually ties to his LD call, which means that this also applies if you use his LD call. So Irvine technically is a jack of all trade character but master of none. He has a wide coverage of utility, but if you're going for a specific role, he's actually very easily replaceable. What I'm trying to imply is, for example, if you're trying to get that hit rate down, which I mentioned before, you can actually go for Rydia for that 100% evasion, which is more reliable if you want to completely evade the enemy attack. But then again, Irvine's debuff does come with the 20% HP damage up for the entire party. So like I said, he covers a wide range of utility, but he's not exactly the most suitable unit if you're just going for just one specific role of what he does. He has range in peril as well, which is also similar to what Front does. But I do want to argue that Irvine's LD call can actually be stronger than Front's LD call, although the only main weaknesses of his LD call compared to Front is the amount of turns that his debuff lasts as compared to Front, and Front can easily up her debuff again with her base call. So that's the differences and the only advantage that Front's LD call actually have against Irvine, in my opinion. Anyway, Irvine has that very sweet range in peril, like I said, so naturally his best friend, if you want to run him with, is of course range attackers. For example, Laguna, Kane, Furion, Lena, Maria, Shadow, Yuffie, Vincent, and the list goes on. And because he provides a wide range of roles and utility, he doesn't really have a disadvantaged unit that he can't pair well with. But do take note that his range in peril debuff is not framed, so you might want to be careful when running him with debuffing units. For example, Kefka, Emperor, where they can eat up a lot of slot and prevent him from applying his debuff. Laguna could also potentially harm his debuff, but since his main strongest debuff, which is his dark ammo debuff, is framed, so that part might not be too worrisome. But anyway, I actually really looking forward for Irvine's LD. He's the last Final Fantasy VIII character to get his LD, so I'm actually very happy to finally get him again where I would max him, of course, and actually try to run a Laguna solo or maybe a Irvine solo in this upcoming stages. For those who want to know the details of it, all I remember is that you have to apply range damage to increase the orb. I'm pretty sure it is one of the easiest Lufenia Plus that we're gonna have. I mean, not that Lufenia Plus is gonna be hard anyway, so if you want to look forward to a challenge for this stage, you might want to restrict yourself when choosing your characters. So what about you guys? Are you guys gonna pull for this banner? Let me know down in the comments below. I personally, like I mentioned, I'm gonna go hard for Irvine, and I might want to go for Sazh Call in my alternate account just so I can get that critical guaranteed, considering the fact that we have sages like Safer Sephiroth where they can have their bravery retained, so you can't break them. So calls like Sazh can actually be really useful, especially when you tie it to units like Kane, which actually delays himself, so he can abuse Sazh Call even further. Alright guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and good luck to those who is pulling, and good luck to myself as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.